Say that 5 times fast. The Mort Tort Port. The Mort Tort Port.
I told her, I'm like, just hire a master brewer and I'll learn everything.
Yep.
So
the Mort Tort Port is
the official beer of NPR is the Mort Tort Port. Yeah.
The Mort Tort Port. Oh my gosh.
It's a green bottle with a tortoise on it. It's perfect.
There you go. I like
it. Oh man. So
it's one of them
everyone.
Days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In case you didn't notice, Owen's here making gold out of this episode.
I show it up now, and now I'm going to ruin it. So, yep.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Evening.
Well, the folks in Australia are watching it because I think it's the morning for them.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, Australia.
Good morning,
Good
Australia.
morning, Australia.
Yes.
Take
Good
us.
morning, carpet pie.
Get us out of here.
I mean, can you imagine you wake up and the first thing you see is this? I mean, you've chosen poorly.
Yes, I must talk to your future wife.
It's too late. She's made her horrible choices. Plus, there
choices can be changed.
No, not when a new pallet of railroad ties was delivered yesterday. Because we have to. The wall must be bigger. The wall must be taller.
Oh yeah,
the Mort
we
wall.
talked about that on NPR.
He escaped.
The Mort Port.
Oh yeah,
he got out.
2 blocks away. Yep.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so did
Bad
neighbors call or did they come knock on the door?
The neighbors. He apparently saw some lady with a yellow bag and was just chasing her down the street. So, which
he's target trained the tortoise to follow the yellow bag.
I didn't do it. She must have done it. But it's so yeah, the neighbors called and they said your tortoise got out, and I ran outside and hauled his ass back indoors. But now we're going to make the walls a little bit taller. So
that is hilarious.
Yeah.
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 Does he have like a guilty tortoise face when he gets caught?
Dude, he got pissed. He was like downstairs thundering around, ripping stuff up. Like, I mean, he was mad. I'm like, all right, not my animal.
That was free. Now
it was so free.
Caged
the
beast.
yellow bag.
Yep.
Yeah. So katas are no joke.
Dude, that I come running up, and the one person's like, "Is it dangerous?" I'm like, "It's a tortoise." Like, what do you mean? Is it dangerous? You not know what a tortoise is?
I was it's funny how I listen to books on like Audible, right? And I'm like, every once in a while I'll type in books about snakes, right? So hashtag dedicated. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday, Summer.
Tequila all around.
Tequila on Owen.
Tequila on Owen. Yeah.
He'll pay with Apple Pay. Send him
I will. Yeah.
I type in snakes, and this thing comes up, and it's like I don't know, it's like 101 facts about snakes. So you know how like you can sample it, right? So I sample it, and I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, and you're like poisonous snakes. I was like, that's
wrong.
it.
You're already wrong.
That's an automatic fail. You write that on the test, you're out.
Yep,
that's right.
Kicked out of the class, not allowed to take it again, go back to square one, try a different career path.
Lucas, when you're like in school,
yes,
you should just take one, like if the opportunity ever presents itself to just totally bomb one question, just write poisonous snake and see what Zach does
in Zach's class.
In Zach's class, like, just like one.
I'm taking his class this coming semester, his herpetology class. So that can happen. Absolutely. I mean, he's my intern now. He said it. So
how does that work? If you're taking his class,
we did not clear interns getting interns. You have to. There's a process. There's paper.
You can't be a student to the teacher who's your intern as the intern.
There's a lot of
to
conflicts of interest here.
I mean, like you just have to think about it like this. Like
this is like Inception.
This is not the classroom. It's hot in the streets. He's my intern. That's the way it is.
There you go.
I'm not sure if I'm buying this. Or I'm okay with that, but
he said it. But anyway,
it's all right.
Point being, I will bomb a test for you.
I'm not saying bomb the test.
That's
I'm
dedication.
saying get all the questions right. Get a 99 and bomb one question so ridiculous that he's like he writes it in the comment section, like why, like on the side. Yeah. What are you doing? Like, yeah, that.
The snake was poisonous and it had red before black, which meant it was hurtful.
Oh no.
Isn't that a thing? The coral snake thing?
It red touches black. No, it's
poison
scarlet.
black.
Yeah, it's a scarlet. It's fine.
Yes.
Yo, you're
red
wrong. You failed
fellow.
real bad. Yeah, you failed real bad.
Okay, good. That was the goal.
Yeah, it was. But also, I'm a little leery now around herping you in Florida. So, yeah.
We're herping in Florida?
We could.
But I'm the only one of the group that catches snakes in the wild for work.
This is
I
true.
don't like him anymore.
No.
Riley, you're now intern 1.
Dang it.
Well,
there you go, Owen.
we also do this. Now the real people are here.
I do not like this power of yours. Now bring Lucas back.
Oh man. Too funny.
It's a good thing you did that when you did. I was about to crawl through and get you.
Yeah, because this is the
he has that power.
Have we? Ring. He can
Who?
Lucas, he can.
Only me and Riley have this power.
Don't test it.
I just yeah. All right. Good point.
Good point.
I gotta go get my power.
Those beers I sent you that are in your fridge.
They're downstairs.
Don't look under them.
Don't look under them. Yeah. Listening devices. It's like, yeah.
So I thought it would be interesting to say. Well, not interesting. It would be good to say that there is going to be a wet. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Northwest.
Oh my God.
Fest.
It's a Northwest Carpet Fest.
Yes,
you picked everything, every direction.
I went
but the
everywhere
correct
but
ones.
South, I'm bad at geography.
East, yeah, no, God damn it.
No. And that's at Jeff and Kendra's, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
It is September 18th.
I don't know about you, Eric. I'm a little jealous and a little peeved that they get to have a Carpet Fest.
Why?
Because
why are you peeved?
I want mine.
What the fuck, man? Just you got a house. Let's do it.
No, not hear your voice.
Okay.
No. Not that much. Yeah.
Okay.
What was the date again? September 18th, they said?
September 18th. I might be able to go.
Shoot. That's the day after Rachel's birthday, and I think I'm trying to go camping.
It's the day after. Happy birthday. Run.
Goodbye.
I don't understand.
So it's in Bothell, Washington? I don't even know where that's at.
It's in Washington. It's
Somewhere
part of the United States.
I'll try. It's closer to me than it is to you guys.
That is true. Yeah.
It's just a straight shot up the freeway.
Vroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From
we could squeeze in some herping and some squatching.
Now
actually, to be completely honest, the route that goes up there takes you right through this forest area, and there's a road turnoff where it's a Sasquatch and cannabis memorabilia road stop, and like totem poles with Sasquatch and weed things. And Owen, I believe you have some of the memorabilia from this said location off the side of the road that I visited for you, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, they have rubber boas.
I hate to break it to you, Riley, but you have been outdone by the guys at the Australian Herpetological podcast. Yeah.
Jason and Luke. Yeah.
I've never had somebody mail me something from so far away to troll me. I don't have fans. I just have a collective group of trolls.
But see, the thing is, like that, they've only got one strike up on the board. I've got like years of like shots at the target, including the monkey backpack suit that you wore on your trip to Australia, which was clutch. That saved your life, arguably.
Allegedly. So there are multiple shots on the target. I will agree. He took his first shot and hit the bullseye. So I mean,
well,
and Eric helped him because he's a backstabbing bastard.
Guess what?
What did I do?
Game on.
Told him my address.
Game on.
Oh. When people ask for your address, I give it to them.
Please stop that. Please stop that. This is how all these things happen. This is how Travis sent me those rubs. Stop giving people my address.
Are you complaining about free spices?
No, because they are delicious.
That was good too. Yeah. Did we ever find out who sent you those?
Travis.
Oh, that's right. Good for him. Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
I tortured Eric until he told. Yeah. Tortured him.
He did. Kinda.
Don't tell him.
But they have rubber boas up.
Rubber boas.
I need to go now. I can't find a freaking rubber boa. I found a king snake today.
Yeah, that was pretty. I don't know why.
Beautiful king snake. Super black and white.
They're prettier when you find them. Like it's like if that thing was in a deli cup, I'd be like, eh. But like you find it, I'm like, it's gorgeous. Like,
and it was real small. It couldn't have been too old. It was awesome.
I need some more Callies. I need like
we have a big old female at the shop, and I was showing a family a bunch of different lizards and snakes around the shop, and then I went and was putting the king snake away, and right as I was putting her away, she grabbed my finger, wrapped my middle finger, and so I finished, hanging out with her for 5 minutes with the snake around my finger. And she started doing the walking up the finger to eat my finger, so I had to unhook her. And I was like, so if you see me here itching my finger, that's why.
Yeah.
I love catching snakes like that on the construction sites because all the big tough construction guys are just like and just running away. They're just like, how can you touch that thing?
I have watched firemen run screaming in a room from a water snake that they thought was a copperhead, and it was like this big. And I pick it up, and I'm like, guys,
it's a good way to get a crew of people that hate your job to at least respect you a little bit, which makes the days easier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they probably don't look at you like such a scab after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Well, that's cool. So, man, I was trying to find the picture of Owen and his backpack, but I can't find it.
Can't find it.
Do you have it nearby? You're Owen.
No. The backpack was maliciously, intentionally left in Australia.
Okay. Did you really?
Well, yeah.
I channeled my inner gift ninja, heard of that idea from an episode and sent it to him.
Yep.
Hey, Owen, are we drinking the same beer?
No.
We're beer twins.
Oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Like everything else, we're close, but not the same. Same birthday. I have hair on my head. You have a longer beard. Not the same thing. Yep.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Okay. Guess what I found?
Oh, goody.
No.
Bring it out.
Eric has all the photos all the blackmail photos. That's why I'm still part of NPR. Would have quit years ago, but I can't. He has way too much dirt on me.
Don't leave
me. He's not wrong.
I know. Those contract negotiations just go bad for me every year.
Yes.
I would like a raise. No, and here's why. No. And he slides a picture over, and I'm like, okay.
I will never ask again.
I'll never ask again. Thank you, sir. And then I leave. Yeah.
See, all these other podcast guys that they switch hosts and all that stuff. They don't learn that.
You have to lock them in. Yeah. You have to make it so they have no option but to stay.
Yes. Runaway Owen. There he is.
Oh my God.
With his monkey backpack.
Yep. It's the only way. God. Oh my God. And the freaking that hat, dude, like it didn't fit my head, but it's the only thing that would protect us from the flies. So I had this hat that was like floating on my head.
Yes.
Until we got the other nets at the one place, the Yellow Creek. Keith bought that one net, and you and I were like, "Fuck it," and we bought those, and then threw those hats like away. So, yep,
I know.
Did yours have a little zipper in the front for water bottle access or anything?
No. That's why the ones we got when we were in Australia were just these little nets that fit around whatever hat you were wearing. So. I don't like carpets. I don't like carpets and coffee. Like I come on, and it's just a rip show. I mean, I don't understand why you guys are all obsessed with it. So,
I
like you.
What were you
Owen.
saying?
No, the nets that we got in Australia they fit over whatever hat you were already wearing. So that was great because Eric and I just both wore baseball hats, or Eric just let his and then it would fit over top as opposed to that thing, which was ridiculous. So
yes.
Rob just didn't wear any. Rob just ate flies. Like he just kept walking. It was weird.
He was hardcore, man.
Oh my God.
He didn't give two shits. The flies are landing on his face.
And he's just he's still talking. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? So
he's like, stop being wimps, guys. What the heck? I'm like, okay, sorry.
Protein.
No, dude.
When in Rome.
I can't have a fly like it. What was the one thing from the damn British guys who won't do it anymore because they quit.
Reptile and Chill.
The Reptile and Chill, and they were talking about like the fly that blah, 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 blah. Like that's all. It's right in your face, in your ear, and I can't freaking stand that shit. So, yeah.
I was gonna show a picture of my dad finally got his poison dart frogs.
Ooh.
And here's his setup, right? Wait, let me yeah, there we go. Window.
Waiting.
There we go.
Nice.
Steamy.
Oh, wow.
It's foggy.
Oh, he's got a money plan in there. Badass.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's one of them.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah,
Part of it.
There it is.
What kind are they?
Looks like a citronella.
It's like yellow and black with blue legs.
Is that citronella?
Dendrobates tinctorius, and it's probably the citronella type because they recently not recently, more like 5-10 years ago, they took a lot of the dart frogs that were in Dendrobates and put a lot of them in tinctorius and just gave them like locality types.
Yeah, I always like the Lucamella. So,
yeah, those are beautiful.
I don't know, and for such a tiny frog, they make a shit ton of noise too. So,
yeah, they can. Yeah, it's nice.
Really?
Yeah, if you get males in there and you get them calling,
you'll hear them. Oh yeah.
In Santa Barbara, we had a bunch of different tanks set up, and we had some of the Phyllobates. Oh, I don't even remember. They're like the all yellow ones. They're really freaking cool. And they would never freaking breed. So one day I recorded one of the males calling, and I filmed it and recorded it really well. And so then like every day for a few minutes, every couple of hours, I would play the video back to him, and he'd come hopping right over to the glass and start calling back at the phone, calling him. And I just got him all fired up, and then he'd run off and start breeding female.
Sometimes you need the combat. So, it's
basically what it was simulating combat as another male coming into his territory. So it's pretty wild.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
you can't just do that with a snake. Like, look.
My intention is I'm going to piss off my Timor male so bad this year with the sheds of the other male and the other male. Like it's going to be bad. But Eric, what are you planning to do because you're going to get into Asian rat snakes now?
No,
like, are you going to do a big
rhino?
You're going to be a big kind of like planted enclosure for this one little rhino that's like this big. So
yeah, I want to do it in my living room. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fully support 100%. This.
Yes. Yeah. I want a nice. I think that's probably like a good species to do it with because they can kind of be at ambient, cooler, and they're pretty cool looking for a snake. I mean, they got a big horn on the front of their head.
Oh yeah, that's
on face.
They're one of those things
or I could get Baron Eye. They're pretty cool too.
Yeah, venomous.
Yeah.
So
Rob told me I'm not allowed to have Baron Eye.
You already have Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Baron Eye sounds
said,
like
I did notice that. I did notice that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And he was just like, "Hey, they'll listen, Buddy Bear. The venom on them is this, and this. Maybe you should." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he's like, "Eric, you could." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Well, the venom is pretty gnarly on them, from what Rob was telling me.
From
pretty gnarly.
It can be.
So.
It seems a little more consequential than the falsies.
Yeah, what do you compare it to? I think he compared it to like
So go ahead.
Neotropical rattles. I think he compared it to neotropical rattlesnakes, but I'm not sure.
Oh shit.
So yeah.
That's serious.
Rob also said you're not allowed to have balls.
Yeah, you didn't listen to him on that one either.
It is a good point. But when Zach is like, I'm going to send you a box and you're going to enjoy it, and I'm like, okay, like
I mean, so let's talk falsies for a minute because we'll talk about them.
I just got some new gloves.
I need to start training mine because he's getting too big and is
when you handle them, or you're changing maintaining the enclosure or whatever you want to say, right?
I will just go ahead and say I do. I absolutely
You do?
I do.
Okay.
But I do it in the way I do it according to the protocol that Loafman would have me handle all his water cobras if I was on campus.
Okay.
Gloves which is and hook
out, have gloves. And that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. So are they a special kind of gloves? Are they like the ones people wear for monitors?
They're just leather gloves from Home Depot.
Like welding gloves or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, they're right over here. I could go get them, but I might yank a cable out. But yeah, I mean, like, he has undergrads in the zoo science major that are around all the time that aren't allowed to touch them. And then all the graduate students are the ones that do mess with them, but there's like a protocol written out that like they're supposed to follow.
Grad students are expendable though. Like you all are a dime a dozen and it can easily be replaced.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I know one of the girls in my lab, Taylor, has been sexing like the 100-something falsy babies that have been hatching in the past couple weeks. And she sends pictures to the chat of just like, another one biting the glove and yeah.
But their venom is pretty potent, right?
So
I mean, but the issue is they can't really get you.
Right. They have the components that gram for gram are comparable to the timber rattlesnake or whatever that he has said is true. But gram for gram is the key word because you're never going to get a dose gram for gram.
No. Right.
So, yeah.
They're hands off for me. Them and the Madagascar hogs, like I have their hooks 100%, and it's out of the cage into a bin, and that's just how it goes. And
double hooks, tail hooked. What?
I suck at double hooks. I need to get better. But I try to do hook and a tail, and then it's usually a bins right underneath, and it's like whoop, in out. Sometimes the male false water cobra will put himself in the bin because he'll come flying out at me and then just fall and then just end up and I just put the lid on. So he's really good about that. But and it's almost something that I did a double take because the baby mad hogs were hatching, and of course Melissa's holding them and I'm holding them and we're checking them out and I'm sexing them, and then one neck flares and tries to bite me and I'm like, right. Right. This could be bad. So it's
this is why Rob said I
don't need I know, we all know, but there's no need to bring a point of
it's funny because in my experience in zoos, it was always like the falsies were treated hot, and we had a Madagascar giant hognose as an education snake that we would handle and let people pet.
But like that's something that you told me about, Riley, is like, we were doing that. We did the Collier corner on them and all this.
Right.
Yeah, there he is.
Nice.
Yeah. So they
how'd you get that flag on the egg?
I draw with a marker very quick. It's hard, dude. Like
he's got a stamp. He's pro, don't you know?
I have to temp tattoo every egg after they're laid. It's weird and dumb, and I don't know why I keep doing it. But so far we have 1 boy, 3 girls.
Nice.
Out of the mad hogs.
Cool.
So
nice.
They even look mad coming out of the egg.
They're like and they're like there's nothing left in that egg but them. Like they are big babies.
Yeah, they should. A good healthy baby should take up everything. There should be nothing left.
They're fat as shit. They look great, and I have 1 more still in the egg, and I'm hoping it's a boy. So
sweet.
So this is a kind of a good question.
So okay. So how do we go beyond that? Did somebody kick Riley out?
Kick Riley out. Why did we kick Riley out?
Riley just said,
Eric, what's wrong
Ryan
with you?
Cox asked too many questions.
And he left. Ryan
See,
Cox.
Now this is what's funny.
Ryan ruined Riley. I mean, yeah.
It looks exactly the same when he lost connection as when you actually boot him out on purpose.
So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Ryan, I'm not 100% sure on that. What I do know is that from all of the bites that have occurred in the program, nothing has been more severe than a little localized swelling and itching.
Yeah, that's what happened with me with the Mad Hog, because I was playing with it when I got them on the way back from Tinley, and it bit me on the finger, and I'm like, right, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And it did swell up for like a good hour, and of course you're in the car coming home from Tinley, so you have nothing to do but monitor what's going on with your hand. So it did get swelled up, and it did itch for a little bit, but then it went right back down. Like about 2 hours, 3 hours later, it was fine.
Yeah.
I have one article that I've scoured off of the internet somewhere. I couldn't even tell you, but I bookmarked it years ago. And it's here, I'll pull it up. Basically, it's got photos, and it's a potential envenomation from a Leoheterodon in the field, and you can see the swollen hand.
Are we talking Leoheterodon? That's the gold?
No, that's all of them.
Straight up.
That's all of them. That's the genus for
but
the
do we know? Like, I thought you and I were talking about it like it was a blonde, not a giant.
No, I think this one was a giant.
Giant? Okay, yeah, never mind. Me.
So
I don't know.
Okay, so there it is.
One of those things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Minor bleeding after the bite, puncture wounds, little pain was felt. Symptoms disappeared after an hour. But then shortly after removal of the snake, the series of photographs document the symptoms.
You scroll down, like that other one's worse. Yeah. That other picture shows it worse.
So that's 5.5 hours after the bite on the top, and then the bottom is 24 hours after the bite. So it got worse 24 hours later. And then let's see. Initial symptoms included partial loss of feeling in the fingers and distal half of the arm. Bleeding lasted for more than 3 hours after the initial bite. Swelling extended through the hand into the distal half of the arm and reached its maximum extent in 24 hours. Slight pain was recognized in the left axillary lymph nodes 5 hours after the bite and persisted until the third day.
The freaking lymph nodes?
Yeah. Swelling lasted 5 days, but the last symptoms, the pain in the thumb and in the hand, only completely disappeared by the evening of 19th, 9 days after the bite. During the whole event, only local symptoms were recognized. There were no signs of fever, diarrhea, headaches, sweating, bad sleep, or lethargy, and appetite remained normal. So basically kept it clean and everything. So yeah.
Still, I would rather have this than watch my finger dissolve and the bone fall out of my finger and then being like, okay, now I can go back to my snakes. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree here, just whatever we're talking about, best case scenario is still don't get bit by rear fang snakes. Like, I'm not saying it's okay.
Just let them just stick them on there.
Bottom line is all the dogma about rear fang venomous just being like a bee sting is bullcrap. And we really don't know anything about it because it really hasn't been studied enough, period. So
just don't fuck with it. Just don't be that person who's like, I wonder. Like, no.
And it's like Ryan just said too. I mean, even Western hog bites can be a lot more gnarly than what you would expect from a bee sting or a hognose bite.
Right, but they were mustaches.
They wear mustaches,
and
but behind those fuzzy mustaches is a dark truth.
The predator. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Even people die from bee stings all the time. Yeah, you do not know how these things are going to affect you until it does. And you really don't want to be that person who's having trouble breathing because the Western bit you and you weren't prepared for that. So,
yeah. Venom is not one size fits all.
I have a feeling that I would be allergic to a Western hognose bite. I would be the guy.
That's why I
have some gut feeling that that would be me.
That's why when we go herping, Eric and I carry a syringe full of adrenaline just in case, just so I can stab him in the heart and just bring him back. Yeah. I keep trying to do it when like he's not in trouble, like just stick him.
Pulp Fiction style.
Yeah,
it's like putting a turbo on him.
It runs into the distance. Like,
you have two needles. Which one? Which one's the EpiPen? Which one's the night juice?
I don't know. Let's do both and see what happens.
I have to say, you'll probably enjoy. I have to share this because I think Mr. Aspadites over here would probably quite enjoy this.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to share though, but let's see.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh,
it's angry.
Wait, I think Nipper tagged me in this. Maybe.
Get it.
Dude, how cool would it be to see a Woma
to get bit by a wild Woma? Sign me up.
Yeah, man.
Like that's one of those like you get bit by the wild Woma and then you immediately break.
But I'm happy about it. Yeah,
break a pen into the wound so it becomes a tattoo. Like yeah, it's like, dude, that bite mark is from that Woma and that one time in Australia. Lucas, are you okay?
Like, that's what you suggested after the bull and I bit me at the shop. You're like,
just break the pen.
Pour ink in it.
There you go. Just pour ink in it. It's done. Yeah, instant tattoo. And it's foolproof process.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Follow me for more horrible suggestions. Please, God, don't do that.
That is a beautiful Woma. I am super back on the Woma train.
Good. Get some space. I'll send you some more.
Yes. Well, I ordered the more space, but we know how long that takes.
I know. Listen, this is a horrible little triangle because the second the Womas leave, I can move the White Lips downstairs, and Riley can send me the Mad Hog. So it's like this little thing.
We're just all sending snakes to each other.
That's all we do.
Yeah,
and I can bring a rhino over to Eric. Like, yeah, this is how this works.
Except none of you want my Brettles.
I have Brettles. I have many.
No, I'm just joking.
I have too many.
It's okay. In a few years, I'll have stuff that you guys want. Blackheads for you, Walmas for you.
This is my last time. I'm swearing off Aspadites. I'm done.
Dude, what?
Done.
But you didn't do blackheads, and they're better.
I've had Walmas 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and that's why you messed up the second 2 times.
That's what I say to people that swear off Aspadites. Gone with you.
Oh. Speaking of Walmas,
put me back on.
Say that again.
How many Aspadites? No. I retract.
I will say
now I remembered you do have some. So I will be quiet now.
You judging the genus on Womas alone isn't fair. Blackhead's a totally different
deal. I will
deal.
agree, but blackheads have always just I don't have the space for blackheads.
What do you mean? If you think you don't have the space, then you're going to keep them way too large.
Damn it. That was good.
This statement is so true. If Lucas got extra space from AP, he'll get it before Christmas.
And that's why it's not from AP.
Oh dear.
That's true. Thank God we weren't waiting on that. Yeah.
But what I was going to say was with that beautiful wild Woma, I had a cool week with Womas because I got to see one of my little dudes do the digging thing. He did the digging with the neck shovel, did the J. It was very cool. And I caught it on my little camera. And I talked to Dr. Melissa Breton in Australia. I got to talk to her about Womas for a long time.
Excellent.
Which was cool. Very fun. Very fun.
I have a sinking feeling in my gut that eventually Lucas will become this like huge herpetologist kind of guy, and then I'll be begging him for a job so I can get out of this nationwide bullshit.
Now who's the intern?
then I'm gonna be his intern, and it's just gonna be like payback. It's a bitch, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't believe
Eric
in interns.
Always treated me with respect, but you.
How many times was I fired? I don't know, daily. So
I prefer to call the interns honored guests.
It's worse. It's worse. You're just placating me. So
no. But no, that's not gonna happen. Come on, don't give me too much credit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know.
I will say though, that was
we'll have a jobs opening at the NPR Serpentarium.
If you would just open the fucking thing,
Riley will be head of the crocodilian unit.
What if we choose a year and make this real.
I would like to do that. Please God, get me out of this hell.
So 2024 grand opening.
Grand opening.
I
mean, we need a year to build.
He has a point. He has a point.
All right, I do have. First of all, let's talk about what Riley has in his hand.
Yeah, Riley has a carpet.
An Xanax coastal that I'm trying to chill out.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Yeah.
She's angry.
So, do you think that you think that Florida is the place to be when it comes to serpentariums? Or is that,
I think there's
only because there's too many. Outside? Too many?
I think there's too many serpentariums in Florida. Plus,
it's going to be underwater.
Exactly. Plus, I also think that
is true.
With the regulations,
I don't even want to touch the legislation of that state anymore.
Like, the last thing you want to do is be like, we have this big retic. Nope, illegal. Got to get rid of it. Like, and that
no, thank you.
Nope. See.
So where would we go? Pennsylvania? Yeah. Is South Carolina pretty? Well, no.
No, we're not.
The Carolinas are screwed too.
No, I would say Pennsylvania because there's
Pennsylvania's the last.
There's no serpentariums in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania or Texas.
Yeah, but again,
maybe New Mexico, southeast New Mexico, right above West Texas. Jesus,
I think
that was a certified beer shot.
Yeah, I think. Well, here's the thing. I think you could do a serpentarium in Pennsylvania because that's what Reptiland started as, and you could totally do it. It's just you're going to have a lot of indoor shit.
Mm-hmm. I want to go somewhere where you can herp too. West Texas.
You can herp Pennsylvania. We've done herping in Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, it's true. It is true.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Not everything needs to be West Texas.
New Mexico is great because it's very central to like West Texas, further into Texas, like up Utah and other areas. Like it's not that far. Like you could hit Carpet Fest, you could hit Vegas, you could go up to Colorado, you could do Nevada, you could do Mississippi and further. Like
it's gonna be really hellish to try to convince Melissa to move. So if we're doing it, it's got to be a good place. So
and it has to be a place with like some kind of local traffic too. It's not we can't just base it on people coming.
Do that, yeah. That's what I'm saying. The serpentarium in this area of Pennsylvania, there's nothing for you. Got to drive an hour or so to get to Reptiland, and then that's it. So.
Yeah,
I say
Maryland.
No,
I wonder how much it
Anchorage,
costs.
Alaska. No.
You have to have
perfect. This is a snake. Ooh,
it's frozen.
Crap.
They're all in jars.
They're placed at tortoises every year.
I can see Russia from my serpentarium.
Exactly.
Nice.
Did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch it?
Yeah. I got it.
Good job.
What is
New Mexico.
I'm lagging.
New Mexico.
Okay. Montana, New Mexico, Kentucky.
Ryan, I think biased.
Yeah, I know. He wants everything to be in Kentucky.
Not everything needs to be in Kentucky.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would that would be a dream for me. For sure. I just don't know how you start. I say it all the time, hoping that Owen will like figure out how to start it.
I've already figured it out. You retire from ShopRite, and then you need to do all the money part because I have none.
No, you need a good line of credit in order to start.
You gotta get the building. Right. Yeah. You got to get the building. You got to build. You got to have the behind the scenes snake stuff, which is the breeding, the cages, the yada, yada, yada. Then you got to have the front of the house or whatever it is. That's your big zoo enclosures and all that fun stuff. Then you got to have a couple rooms over there where you have birthday parties and bullshit because that's your bread and butter. And then you got to have a store front that has supplies, feeders, and then some small displays where you sell the animals. Almost basically, dude, you got to build like Nerd. You got to as much slack as you want to give Nerd. They have a great setup there. They have the shop, the whole store, and then upstairs they have all the breeding rooms. But then they also have a party room, so like anybody who's a small kid who really freaking loves reptiles can come there for a birthday party.
Yeah,
and
Prehistoric Pets does the same
same thing. Yeah. That's what you got to do. That's the basic bread and butter of it.
Yeah, we don't have a party room at GX3, but we do have like sort of like the front retail end and the retail rooms and the display floor and then the back breeding rooms and everything. So
exactly, and then you have some big display animals and stuff like that. Yeah, and now in the day of YouTube with like, you know, what Brian Barczyk's doing, you go nuts with daily videos of feeding this or fixing that or showing this animal off.
Dare you?
I think
proud of it.
Could you see Owen doing a daily vlog?
Yes. Shut the fuck up and sit down. We're gonna look at this snake. It's like,
oh, that would be hysterical. I would tune in just for the comedy part of it.
I think that we could do a really good vlog that doesn't do any of the bad parts.
Oh, that's good, Riley.
Also, yeah.
But then here's the thing, and that's how these serpentariums eventually get to a certain point, because people need to understand is that the AZA requirements per animals are different depending on the different species. So the requirements for reptiles is like they don't give a shit. Like there's no enrichment logs. There's no all this other stuff. You can easily kind of fake that kind of crap or get through. So
why are they laughing?
Because Riley's sending pictures.
Check your chat.
Oh,
check the private chat.
Shut up.
Oh my God.
But
that's enough. That's enough from you.
That's very good. Very
but that's something
good.
that you can do, and that's how like places like Reptiland have become AZA accredited, because the book of requirements for like mammals is like this thick. Reptiles is like this thin. Like they're just like, tell us you throw a shed in there every once in a while to make it happy, and like this is how big the space needs to be, and add fine stamp, and that's how it works.
So, right? Is that just stamp?
Yeah, there's basically standards and an accreditation board that you're subjected to that comes and inspects. So if you want to get your facility, AZA accredited, you basically have to bring it up to all these requirements, incorporate all these protocols, procedures, programs.
And then you have access to the AZA animals, which is how some AZA animals have gotten into private hands.
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Well, we've got Riley, who has worked at AZA facilities, and then now I'm doing AZA school, essentially. So we should be good with the AZA people.
Yeah,
Eric can manage a mean store. So
yeah, the thing with AZA is it comes down to the individual facility.
Right.
You don't have to be AZA accredited in order to work with an AZA accredited institution as a holding facility, a retirement facility, a surplus.
Or
you can be
at certain points. Yeah.
Yeah, you could essentially become a non-AZA accredited participant, like a certified participant or something like that.
ZAA, which is another zoological program, but is not as stringent as AZA. So it's another thing you could do. So.
Yeah. And of course,
Lisa figured it out. Like,
Lisa's 10 steps ahead.
I am slowly working it away where I can get Owen Pelly Python. So
wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Komodos, Owen Pellies.
I don't want a Komodo. I just want Owen Pellies, and then I retire.
I want Parentis, not Komodos.
There you go. You do Parenti. Yeah. Less space, and also, or both.
Well, yeah, you could do both, I guess.
You could do both. Yeah. All you gotta do is find a Kmart that went out of business and then buy the building. There you go.
I thought earlier that I had finally figured out how to pin comments, but it turns out one of you just did it at the exact same time that I thought I was the one that did it. And so now I've been trying this whole time and I don't know. It's not
working. Okay.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Oh, really? Like what comment? Yeah, you just pushed that show, right? What's that? Doink.
See, but I don't have privileges. So here I am. I'm clicking Lisa's comment to my heart's content.
It's not going.
Nothing's going, which means that I'm a fool.
Yes. Yeah.
And my reality was not reality.
Well, the next time, just tell me when you're going to push the button, and then I'll push.
I'll push it for you.
This is why I love Eric.
It's like,
Eric's
okay.
So supportive.
Eric's like, I'll help you. I'm like, you should feel bad. Like,
Yeah.
Am I into number 1 again yet?
Not yet. You have to earn it.
Or
Riley has to fuck up.
I challenge Riley to Star Wars trivia for the position of intern number 1.
All right, go ahead.
Wait.
No, you have to ask the questions.
Oh, up for debate.
Yeah. I was not prepared. I'm not ready.
You only need one question.
No. We're not challenging my seat. My throne is not up for debate.
It's in the rule book. It's page 6 of the NPR intern rule book. If you are, it says.
There we go.
Much better. So where were we?
All right. Yeah, I'm not okay with you two being in charge of that button. I'm
exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, better. What? Wait. Yes. Now the real people are here. We can talk snakes.
So,
right?
Yeah, let's talk some nonsense. Carpet pythons for crying out loud.
Right?
Right,
can we talk carpet pythons?
Section 21.5.
Sorry.
That kid. He's intern number 3 now.
I mean, now at this point, I agree with you. Just whatever you need me to say to not get kicked. So.
All right. I'm going to start, right? We're gonna talk carpet pythons for sure because it's carpets and coffee as we're 45 minutes in. But first, is Lucas okay? He looks like
Lucas is dead.
But today is Snake Book Day, right? Usually on Fridays I get Snake Book Day, and I've never heard of this book, but it's somewhere I want to go.
Nice.
It's in America, Snake Road. It's a field guide to Laurel and Pine Hills. Okay, carpets.
LaRue Pine Hills. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What can you find
I'm
there?
sorry, I saw Lisa talking about Flinders Range carpet pythons, and I was distracted.
And it was get going. So you get what I'm saying.
But it's actually a pretty cool book. It gives the species and stuff. But the one thing I thought was pretty interesting, right, is that you don't really find this in field herping, but when months they were observed, like it gives a little graph there.
Nice.
Of so
I love a good graph.
You could plan a trip around.
What?
Oh man, they're all over you tonight.
I'm just trying to have a good intellectual conversation with my friend Eric,
and then
about the Asian rat snakes, Greater China.
Yes,
I'm the king of Greater China.
I need that book. I don't know why I don't have that one.
Yeah, I know. What the hell?
You know me. I like to fly by the seat of my pants and then wonder why the blue beauties won't breed. It's like,
okay. All right. Fair enough.
Aren't those Vietnamese?
Shut up. God damn it. God.
You and your details.
Damn it, Lucas.
Yeah. So I would ask, and my first question, carpet-wise, is how is the albino citrus tigers doing?
Good. They all ate.
Riley.
They're awesome. They're all eating. Nice. They're feisty. They're amazing. I love them all.
Oh, keeping all of them, are you?
Well, between Eric and I, that's at least 4 of them right there. So and there's only 6.
I would love to get my albino off the sofa and actually get him to breed my citrus tiger at albino. So,
what do you think, Eric? Should we let 2 of them enter the world?
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't.
I mean, it would have to be males because I got 4.2.
Are they albino or are they hats?
The albinos. I've got six of the albinos. So I've got. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 caramel albinos and 1 regular albino as far as males go. And then the 2 females, one's a regular albino, one's a caramel. I figure you get a pair, I'll keep a pair, and then that leaves 2 males. So
I would let them go. Yeah, man.
Yeah. See how it goes. And letting 2 boys like that go isn't really going to torpedo a project or anything like that because you need other pieces.
I'm honestly not so much worried about torpedoing the project. I don't think it's it's in any state to have even gotten big enough to torpedo yet. I think it's still in its growing.
Sitting out there on the ocean, you can't really torpedo it yet.
It's just one of those fringe things that's kind of been overlooked long enough, and now it's the right time for it to grow.
I mean, give one of those boys or girls a couple of years to grow and shed, and then show me the colors, and then for all you know, you might be having to beat people away with a stick. So, yeah.
Well, I think it just comes to people having a vision of, or being excited about,
what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's going to take the right person interested in it, because they're not going to be, just a throwaway priced animal that anybody can get into as far as that's concerned. But it's not going to be out of reach, and I want it to go to somebody who either wants to add more to it or take it in their own direction, or even if they want to keep it as a pet and they want to pay for it, I'm like,
fine, whatever.
Who am I to say no to that? But and then there's a bunch of hats. There's a lot of potential with those caramel and normal hats. Seriously, if anybody's listening to this and is considering what the best route is, if it were me listening, I would be hitting Eric up for some of the first round of the citrus tiger hats that you have, because correct me if I'm wrong, you've still got quite a few of those, right?
Yep
And they're a couple years older, so if it were me, I would be hitting you up for one or two of those, and then grab something from this if this is the project you want to build something around and go for. That would be how I would do it, because then you get to start with some good foundational stuff in your first round of hats, like high citrus tiger blood in there, and then you can diversify a little bit. So
I think the cool part about maybe that project that I always enjoyed was that not only do you get cool looking albinos, which are amazing, but you get also cool looking just normal carpets.
Dude, the hats are insane. I mean, maybe it's just because you can see it better in them without the albino really making it hard. Of course, this guy's it's 90 degrees here, so they're sitting in water. But
the different colors you can get off of a hat is really cool. Yeah, really, and I'm sure that's tell on a baby albino.
And I'm sure that probably has to do with the fact that there's some crossing going on of stuff,
Right.
But I do believe that the citrus stuff, even when I had normal citrus stuff, it I don't know. There was a couple of people that were into it, and then I don't know, but there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, there is. I think there's a lot of potential in anything that could be line bred and stuff like that. So, and I would say that the colors are only kind of getting tapped, and if the new carpet book comes out and they're all pure anyway, who the fuck cares? Then it's just a cool carpet project. So
I don't. Yeah. Do you think? Well, let's talk about that for a second. Do you think if the carpet python book comes out, and let's just say that coastals and jungles are the same thing, do you really think that all of a sudden people are going to mix those together?
I think I think if that comes out and the book comes out and says that jungles and coastals are the same, I think coastal jaguars are going to be considered dog shit, because you can tell me that even the best colored jungle jag is pure. Done. It is. Why am I going to do this when I can do this? So
I think the idea of it being pure, I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Some people have that hang up. Other people
I don't know if I like that term.
Some people have not have that hang up because they keep getting mixes dumped on them, and now they don't know what they're doing downstairs. So it's
my foundational question is, just because it's published in this book, does that officially make it changed, or does that make it the first step in opening it up for peer review to see if the change needs to come?
Yes,
it will not mean anything if it's not published in a peer review.
I agree. This is something that it opens the debate, it opens the floodgates for discussion, and it does need to be peer reviewed. Otherwise, we're going to go back to the same thing that we were doing with like, what the hell was it? The Arboreal Symposium, where somebody's like, how about we just don't use the nomenclature that Hoser put out there? And it's like, well, yeah, but he got it right. Yeah, but we don't like him. It's like you can't ignore science just because you don't like somebody or disagree. So it does open a debate, but everything needs to be peer reviewed.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, Lucas, you work more closely with university, folks and professors and whatnot that are currently or have been involved in this process. So you've discussed this process with them. Correct me if my layman's understanding is wrong, but it's essentially they publish this. Mm-hmm. These folks can choose to review it, agree, disagree, put out their own assessment, agree, disagree, and then that sort of solidifies it or nullifies it, more or less, right?
Right. So I believe that, because again, there's no gold standard wherever you choose to draw the line in the sand in terms of divergence. That's up to the author, which is why people look at the percent divergence in the green tree work and are scratching their heads why those aren't, taxonomically, illustrated, because they were very large numbers. But once that is established in the paper, like, if you decide like I'm looking for this number to make it true in my head, then if you get that number and you write a paper claiming that your findings justify a change in the taxonomy, then I think basically the job of the reviewers is to agree or disagree and tell you what you need to change before they'll agree. But past that, I am not sure how something becomes the new, law of the land, if you will. Because like, there's not like a big golden book somewhere that's like, this is the master list of what we consider true,
what we believe. Yeah.
So I would assume that after every event of changing, there's probably some disorder in the academic community of people that either agree with the findings of the paper or don't. And then I guess if enough people just get on board, we all just start accepting it. I mean, that's my understanding. But again, I also am definitely no expert. I'd love to pick Zach's brain on that, because I think he's working on something now, actually, with a bunch of other co-authors to change taxonomy of a specific Asian rat snake or something like that. So without going too far into that, I mean, he would know better than I. But yeah, it's all about the peer-reviewed journal articles. A book is a wonderful tool, and they should not be undervalued in any way. But in terms of academia nuts, they do not change what is looked upon as scientifically accepted, I suppose.
Yeah,
there's a certain amount of people that are like, how does it work as far, or maybe you know this or don't know this, but like, is there a certain percentage that has to be hit of people that agree with the work in order for it to be taken as that, or does it just have to be published?
I think it just has to be published, but wouldn't it?
Because I think of the recent paper with the children's pythons, right? Or Enteresia, right? And they kind of just like, they totally, butchered it. Well, I shouldn't say they butchered it. There's issues with the paper that people have, right?
Right.
And
you hear a lot of the statement like accepted within the scientific community, right? So maybe that big scientific community, air quote, is where that consensus does or does not happen. But I don't think it's ever formally quantified. Like I don't think there's a vote. I don't know.
Okay.
I always thought it was sort of an arbitrary, like if a respected, like sort of community and industry wide peer reviewed journal platform of a number of individuals reviewing, usually 3 or more, if they all come together and put out an opinion piece on it, agreeing or nullifying it, that sort of sets that standard. And then anybody else is free to contest it beyond that.
Exactly. I think that the system, at least in the earlier days, e.g. the 1800s, was designed where you could like describe your species or whatever. And if somebody else like decided to describe it again, then, they would also go through the same process. Like Aspidites was initially spelled with an O in there somewhere. It was like Aspiodites or something. And, like a couple decades later, some dude changed it to Aspidites without the O and left everything else the same. And from that point forward, that's what it became.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right.
It's weird. It's very weird. And
it's
it could probably
changing.
But the process, I mean, even just like it could all probably be much more efficient and standardized.
Dear God, yes.
The process itself is very arbitrary, it seems.
Yeah.
I just wonder sometimes how that, well, I don't know. It's like, does those papers really affect herpetoculture? I don't know. Do they?
I think they affect herpetoculture more so than they do, say, scientific community like zoo science and things like that. Like, I don't see a zoo changing all the placards just because somebody wrote a book who is in herpetoculture.
No, but what
I think Eric means the papers, right?
The papers, the review papers, what it does is if it's going to influence anything, at the very least, it's going to influence any conservation efforts towards some of those species, because if they're lumping or splitting, that's going to have direct implications on what that means for the populations and trends and overall status. And that can either, like, there was before they split up giraffes into a bunch of groups, they were sort of like vulnerable, and then they split them up, and all of a sudden, like,
holy crap, half of them
2/3 of them are critically endangered. Yeah, like right off the rip, just because of that division. And so it has implications for that. It has, at least from a human standpoint, just for our categorization, for information, for protecting what's left as best we can. It's the best way for us to organize it. Think of it as like our label maker to the living encyclopedia that is whatever's in this earth.
And there's a great story somewhere on one of the podcasts that Zach did. I don't remember which one at this point, but he explained how having an accurate phylogeny, he could actively trace which snakes were going to get hit hard by crypto and which ones weren't when he had that outbreak. It can be important in that sense too, where he knew, like, because of the taxonomy, you two are screwed, you're going to be fine,
Right.
And he saw that play itself out in the university collection.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Again, something he'll explain better than I just did, but it's cool nonetheless, right?
Yeah. I mean, some of it feels like splitting hairs, but at the end of the day, it is the ultimate importance is that we are trying to be as accurate as possible with the labeling. But as far as us and our collections right behind us and what we're doing, I mean, sure, it's only going to affect what we do if we let it. Otherwise,
yeah, I think that the Reptile Fight Club, where they were talking about, I guess like, what was it? I can't remember the title, but they were basically talking about basically pure or crosses or whatever to the most part, right? And like, I thought Chuck had made a good point about how we sort of like, I don't even think we do it intentionally, but we sort of make the mutt, right, the cross, like a bad thing. And
yeah, is it okay to make hybrids and intergrades to further morph projects?
Well, I think it's fine, but try to keep the pure line pure as well. Like, don't get over your skis so bad that now we can't have pure this because everybody bred them to this thing, Well, there was a big debate in our NPR chat this week between Justin and Casey, and I think Travis got in there at some point. They were talking about inbreeding, and like, which I guess
which is something we definitely need an inbreeding and reptiles roundtable, because there's so much like differing opinion on that. I'd love to get some expert voices.
It's okay until the babies come out with no eyeballs. Then it's time to outcross.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No, that's basically what I was going to say. Like, I think that there's so many people that think about it differently. I remember hearing Nick, and I think Justin sort of has the same thought, like that, you can go multiple generations and not really have to worry about it. However, then you have Casey, who seems to like be on the opposite side of that, where he thinks like we're basically all screwed, So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
I think it affects every species differently, because you have some island species and some closed niche species like rough scales and stuff like that, where it's like it doesn't fucking matter to them, but other species it could have drastic results. So
and even in the case of a roughie, let's take that and wild guess, how many do you think there are in the wild?
Probably not as many as you think. So
whatever small number,
whatever number you're going to toss out there, less. So
I would guess personally, just based on that little bean where they're at, and I would guess a couple thousand as well, like Riley just said. So
yeah,
if and total conjecture, there might be way more, there might be way less. But if we accept that number for a mental exercise, and then acknowledge the fact that how many came back with the John Weigel and folks on the helicopter, 4,
5, I think.
4 or 5, yeah.
That's 5 1,000ths of the potential gene pool for whatever's left of the rough scale python. So even in that case, you're starting from not a good spot. Like even if they're not plentiful in the wild, it's exponentially better than an entire group of internationally kept captive animals stemming from 5 individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
At least that's where my mind goes. Again, like I'm just spitballing, but
and then isn't that really even just a guess of like the how many animals are? I mean, not even just saying us. I'm just saying like even if this like people that actually have gone and done research into Kimberly.
Right.
I mean, I think Owen Pelly's could be there, right?
Yeah,
but like they're not known to be there.
Right.
Well, are they not known to be there because it's so difficult to just get there?
Yes.
And to actually then find the snake that spends the daytime in these crevices and stuff is, I mean,
exactly. Are they hard to find because they're running low on numbers, or is that their life history that you're just not going to find?
You just hide in giant rock crevices and that is cool enough. Yeah.
Isn't the same with like gopher snakes and stuff like that? Isn't like the all that well the pine barrens? What pine barrens or what?
Is
gophers?
Fox snake, bull snake.
Up there, those are pines.
Those are pines.
Snake.
Pines, right? Pine barren, pine snakes. Okay. So I got to learn that group because that confuses me. Yeah, it kind of confuses me.
Well, it's weird because bulls, it goes like
gophers. What is what? What
exactly?
What?
And it's almost like there's certain like there's
only
an imaginary line.
Blue Bridge show that focused on educating people about these things.
We only talk about what I want to talk about. So
damn it. I mean, isn't the trouble with finding them? Aren't indigo snakes the same way because they spend a lot of time in like gopher tortoise sparrows and stuff?
Well,
they're underground.
This totally ties into part of the conversation I had with Dr. Brutton, who does all the WOMA work in Australia, and kind of what I was wondering is why it seemed like WOMAs were doing worse than blackheads in the changing world, if you will.
Right.
And what was really fascinating, without going into too much detail, is a lot of what she feels she uncovered is that that's not true. That's a false premise. The blackheads just live a life where they're frequently spotted. They're frequently out, whereas WOMAs might not be struggling at all and are still just near impossible to find because they spend so much time in those burrows. And she, with all that knowledge, she pretty much single-handedly flipped the narrative of WOMAs being thought to be pretty endangered to now being least concern on the IUCN. So it's interesting stuff, like, why are you seeing less animals? Is it because there's less animals, or is it because they're hard to be seen?
They're hiding from you.
Right.
Like Bigfoot. I digress.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna go there.
Non-existent monkey. Non-existent monkey.
The Yowie.
I love that thought.
I think I agree with Justin in as far as this, and I think that his mind is sort of on the same trajectory as like how I would think about it, and I've sort of changed this with the idea that for some reason snake people, right? When we talk to Ryan and all this UV and all this stuff and everything, and like having an understanding of not even really having an understanding of what's best for snakes in captivity, as opposed to say other animals that are kept in captivity where they really have it nailed down to what they need or don't need. Now, I'm not saying that they need it, and I'm not saying that they don't need it, but I think that sometimes we just sort of like, if something happens, we sort of go to our staples, like if a female slugs out, it's like, she was too hot. You know what I mean? It's like, is that why? Is that the reason why?
There's a lot of different reasons it could be. Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And I think Justin was trying to make the point that, especially I think they were really talking blue tongues. They weren't even talking snakes, but I think it somehow evolved into, Australian reptiles and the limited gene pool that we have. But like, not having the proper nutrition. And I think about that with blue tongues and the fact that, I remember Zach, he was a big proponent of sort of like feeding them dog food and keeping them in a rack because you kind of could, right? What is that the right way to do it? I don't know, but that's not how I keep them, but that doesn't mean that was wrong. And that I think it's probably the equivalent of keeping a snake in a rack, right? You can do it and will survive, but you may have issues that come along with that, And I think also, am I wrong to think that it might be individual animals as well? Like you may have stronger animals just in a clutch that maybe there's a lot of weak animals in that clutch, but there's then stronger animals in that clutch as well. So,
it's an individual thing. Certain individuals are going to be able to handle things that other ones aren't. And that's just what you kind of have to deal with. It's people need to understand that snakes and reptiles as a whole, people kind of cookie cutter it like this is how you can do this or this is how you should do this. It's like, well, that's an option, but you should make it as your own and stuff like that. So there's different ways you can kind of handle it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
awkward silence. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading the comment.
Good job, guys. Good job. That's a great audio thing. Yeah. Good thing. Good job, everybody.
See, I've trained Owen over the years that silence
it hurts me. It causes me great pain. Yeah.
I used to have like one of those zappers, and every time silence, I would zap him.
Like a shock collar for Owen.
That's why I always am talking. That's why I'm always speaking. Yeah.
Everybody wonders why in the old NPR days there would be that spike in Owen's vocals.
Because it was pain. I was yelling for help, and none of you came and helped me. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were all pulling our headphones off, going, "Dear Lord."
Well, all right, yeah, fine.
Crashing the car.
We got better.
Oh, it's not your fault.
I think it was
technology's
fault.
I mean, it's sort of your fault.
It is kind of my fault. Yeah. Just make it. Just go with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Any other topics?
Again.
Do something, Eric.
Well, we need more carpet python talk.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Talk about Riley.
Oh, Lucas. Jeez.
You want to talk about me?
No.
No one wants to talk about you.
No. You and your weird Bradley who keeps leaving her eggs and hugging the heat.
Yeah, that
day.
Is odd, right?
Is that
so
carpet
weird.
enough? Is that carpet enough for me to talk about?
I think it's
it
carpet
is.
Enough.
Can we please? Well, okay. First of all, my first thought about that was maybe because those bins are just heavy enough she can't move them, or the size she can't get it close enough. That's her way of resorting to it because, like you said, she doesn't have the fat stores to properly thermoregulate.
So she can move it for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. And she has, but it's interesting. I mean, so for folks listening, basically for the clutch that I have on the ground so far, that's staying with Mom, rather than staying on the eggs the majority of the time and doing a shivering thing to keep eggs warm, she is resulting to leaving the clutch multiple times a day, right? Like I'm not here all the time and I see it a few times every time I'm here. So she's probably doing it, once or twice, perhaps an hour, maybe skipping over sometimes, but often, right? She's coming out and she's coiling her entire being around my bulb guard to soak up a high amount of heat as quickly as possible. The ceramic bulbs, are hundreds of degrees. And so that's a lot of heat real quick, but I clocked or zapped her body temperature at 89 to 90 when she's wrapped around the thing. And then she leaves and goes and wraps the eggs back up. But I think that she's so spent. Like she is flat. She is a pancake animal. Like she put everything into those eggs to the point that I was concerned. And I asked you guys, I asked my professor, I asked Nick, like if she even has enough energy to do this. And everybody was like, yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah. But I think that maybe she might be spent to the point where she would rather just go get heat than create heat since it's so readily available. But it is weird.
Why work at it if it's readily available? Just go up the heat and go. Right. I mean,
it looks strange. The way that she's doing it looks funny, but whatever.
But here's
works.
the thing: my tiger female would leave her eggs daily and soak up the heat underneath the radiant heat panel, but she would still shiver around the eggs when all the heats go off at nighttime. So, for all you know, she's saving up those that time for shaking and shivering around the babies till later when she needs it. Why is she going to do it now during sunlight or daytime when heat is readily available?
Yeah, I would say too, and part of the ingeniousness of what she's doing is that the way she wraps the bulb guard is the exact same way she'll wrap an egg, which means all that heat is going straight to the belly, not soaking through the back and she's warming up the exact surface that needs to warm up the eggs.
Those eggs are 2 weeks old now, right? About, give or take.
She laid on the 22nd of June.
So they're a week and a half old.
About a week and a half. They're not that old. Yeah.
So what are you thinking? You're going to try and offer her a meal at some point, or just let her ride?
I'm thinking about it, but I was talking to Zach about it, and he brought up snake digestion again, and he mentioned something that he talked about on his NPR on snake digestion, which is that pythons, quote, pump before paying in terms of energy spent with digestion, meaning that it takes them a large amount of energy to modify their physiology to be ready to digest a meal again. They have to build all the mucosa in their gut and do all these things to prepare the kitchen, if you will. So it's energy intensive for them to be ready to digest energy. So his point was kind of, if you're only going to do it once, you're going to essentially have a net negative yield here for the energy it takes her to be ready to digest that rat versus what she'll get from a small rat that will not be followed by anything else.
So he's saying if you're going to do it, you might as well do it a couple times.
I think that's his point, or something bigger. But then the downside to a couple times or something bigger is higher likelihood of taking a crap on the eggs.
or just ditching the whole incubation process into it altogether.
Right. But his point was he said, I'm sure it happens occasionally in the wild. I'm sure they'll take a meal and it would probably be just fine. But he said it's probably more for your peace of mind than her survival.
Just let her ride then.
Yeah. So I'm going with that.
Yeah. They're going to look like hell regardless.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll have that snake ready to go again next year. And if she is, then it would be artificial for sure, but it's a long shot.
I don't even aim to breed animals that have done maternal incubation, no matter how well it goes. My jungle, who did it the first time, that was their second clutch. And after she was done, she looked like a normal jungle. She was so big before that when I pulled her off the clutch, she just looked a little lean. And she could have easily bred the next season, but it's just the energy expenditure that far into the season and then trying to play catch up and really rush it in. I gotta think that's horribly, horribly harsh on their internal organs and just puts a huge physiological strain on them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, do you think so when you guys, since now we've all done maternal incubation?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Do you think it's wise to sort of put a little more weight on the female if you're going to do it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
If you can put stuff in before she goes maternal incubation to make it easier for her on the back end, it's always helpful, especially because some will eat during maternal incubation like my girl did, but like I had her actually like she pooped on top of the eggs the one time and I'm like, great, cool, thank you. So that's something else you can run into or you kind of want to try to avoid. So
yeah, I've never had any issues with the females defecating or urinating on the eggs, but I have read of accounts where females urinated in a lay box or in the media in order to increase humidity.
I've had that happen.
I don't think she intentionally did it. I think she pooped in the lay box, and then I think she kind of, in the process of leaving and coming and wrapping around it, she ended up getting them on top of the egg. Didn't affect anything. It wasn't like they got moldy and disgusting, and it dries up like any other type of snake poop that you have, and then it was fine.
Gotcha.
So for the listeners, what equates to getting more food? Like, are you giving and feeding every week? Are you doing it a bigger meal? Like, what is your way to get that weight on the female?
For me, what was successful with my jungle and the citrus tiger was for the entire month of September, they got a large rat every week. It was a crap ton of food. These females were eating to the point where, like, by the time they got the fourth or fifth one, they're like not as enthusiastic about it. I'm like, no, you're taking this. And I always go back and look at my records, my feed records from the season before when I'm planning on breeding, and I will look at that, and I'm always impressed at how much food they take in. The end of July, August, September, those 2 months. Like August and September, just slam them. Tons of food, as much as they will physically take, because if you're going to plan ahead for them taking 2 more months off of food after putting in a ton of physical energy expenditure and then further energy expenditure, maintaining the eggs that you just created without eating at all during that, like they just got to be really packed full of fat stores. So.
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, Riley, then what's your normal feed cycle? Once a month for a female or?
Yeah. So in February, when animals are coming back up from their winter cool down, they start with a smaller size meal than they would normally get, then a medium sized meal a couple weeks later, then 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later, they get, what I typically feed them. Then I give adult females a meal every 3 weeks in the spring. And then in summer, I do it every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how conditioned they are. And then come end of July, beginning of August, that's when I start picking it up for both males and females. And that's when I'll start doing weekly meals. Typically with the males, I'll just do weekly smaller meals. With the females, I'll do weekly bigger meals and ease into even bigger meals. If I'm planning on really putting extra weight on it, just depends on the condition of the animal going into it though. So, but I like to give them all summer to kind of not have food, more or less, or very little food. So,
right. Do you weigh the female at all? Or you eyeball it?
No, I eyeball it. For breeding, I just want to see good, healthy, I want to see fat stores on the back. I want to see a tail that looks good. I don't want to see any lateral fold going down to the cloaca. you know, I want them to look almost over conditioned to like a point where somebody would be like, bro, what are you feeding this thing? Because I know it's going to sustain them in the long end. When I'm not feeding them, I want them to look lean and maybe towards the end have a little lateral fold, have some give when you pick them up. And then, if my goal is to maternally incubate it with a certain female, of course, I've got to, you know, leave it up to them if they're going to make a nice, you know, beehive and do a good job. But if they go into that fat and huge and taking on tons of food and then holding it well, because some females, you just feed them and they just pass right out, stay lean. I've got a female that she is like 6.5, 7 feet long, but she is, I'm not kidding you, like that big around. She's 4 years old. She's just a twig. So I don't know. It just depends on the animal itself. But I like them big and chunky if they're going to do MI. Like big.
And I'm learning what that means, I guess, because I thought she was big and chunky to the point where I was scared Nick was going to slap me for breaking his animal, you know? Like I thought I got her nice and chunky, but she used every
They
bit
lose
of
a lot of weight really fast when there's eggs involved, and then having no food for maternal or smaller meals for maternal, it's one of those things that can happen pretty quickly.
Dude, they can devote over 50% of their body mass to a clutch of eggs. That's huge.
I feel you get more out of feeding larger meals than you do more often. So it's the like bumping them up to like if they're on mediums, bumping them up for to a large
for that season.
Gets them more, gets more weight, gets more food. Because I mean, watch any snake that you have when you jump from say a weanling rat to a small rat. Watch that thing like double in size, like fast. And that'll happen too. So you do that for your females. So you turn the spigot on and you go from medium rats to large rats for a couple months. And then they go off of it for several months during breeding season, during egg laying season and stuff like that. And then the idea is that you don't just throw a large rat at them when they wake up. You got to slowly turn them back onto it.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the seasonal prey availability. Think about what rodents are doing in their cycles, right? What's going to be most abundant in the early spring? Lots of little meals. Then a little bit later on, more adult, bigger meals. And then you see a scarcity in the summer because of the extreme heats and the lack of water and all the resources, and everything kind of disappears and food's hard to get. And then the fall comes around and then you kind of see the same cycle again. So there's bust and boom, and then kind of like easing into the abundance. It's just.
And I would also say that there are certain food items that have more like fat content and stuff like that. Like, I was at the bottom of a bag of rabbits this week because I was feeding the retic, and there was like, you know, when you get like a bag of rats, there's always that one that's like, this is a bag of small rats, and there's that one in there that you're like, well, this fucking thing is a crawler. Like, why is this in this bag? Like, it is. I had that with the rabbits. I had all the bunnies, and then I had this no bigger than an extra large rat. I gave that to my breadlie. I'm like, whatever, you can handle it, and that's a big meal for her. So I'm trying to get her ready for next year because she didn't actually end up breeding this year, but I think she's a little too skinny, so I want to get her a little bit fatter. So I like the idea of giving her a rabbit and then extra large rats to try to bulk her up. I mean, I think I broke my olive pythons when they were younger because I started feeding them guinea pigs, and they just got very, very chunky. So certain food items also do that. Lucas, you and I do the like random food items. I actually went to my store and they had silver sides. Nice. Like they cut the heads off of them and they gutted them. Yeah. And dude, like half my snakes just ate those things as is. Like all my colubrids, the false water cobra, all my Asian rat snakes, and then I think I got a couple juvie carpets to eat them too.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah. I did a big old quail feed 2 days ago. Just everything got quail.
Yeah.
I was disappointed my falsies didn't eat strips of largemouth bass. Damn them.
Yeah, I'm trying to get I'm trying to keep my white lip male on just a bird diet because I don't want him to get any bigger because I'm trying to raise the females up to get to his size. And I don't want him to get any larger, but I don't want to break the females to get to a size that would be compatible with him. So we're slowly doing it, and he's keeping that lean white lip kind of like structure where he's got that separation between his head and his neck, which is very hard because you don't want it to just become a tube. The snake should have a head and the snake should have a body. And that's
that's awesome. 100%.
My Dumerals boas only eat quail, and their clutch mates, their litter mates that we have at the shop, will eat rats, and the litter mates at the shop are twice as big, just monstrously bigger.
I have never dusted. I think it's been eons since I dusted any type of prey item with anything. Do you guys supplement anything?
Not yet. I will be. I've got that Da Vinci boa supplement stuff, so I'm going to be adding that into the rotation for the females this year.
I have never dusted anything because I don't know. It's just something I can't get over. Where it's like there's nobody out there throwing calcium powder on rodents in the wild.
Well, so here's my thing about the calcium powder though. So I bred
wait. There you go. Now you can have it, Snake.
Yeah. So I bred that Exanic Coastal 2 years in a row, the one that I sold to my friend, and the first season her eggs were nice and smooth shelled, no dimples, no nothing, perfectly. And she was one of the first adults that I was able to breed back-to-back season with, really trying. And the second go around, I got only 1 or 2 more eggs in the clutch, but they were very dimply and had those weird depressions. The surface was not even at all on any of the eggs from the get-go. They were fine, but to me, it was a very clear indication that going back to back was a little bit tougher on the calcium that was devoted to the eggs. And I did get a slug in this actually too, so to me, her body was trying to do what the biology and the seasons were cueing it to do, and my resources just weren't quite enough to keep up with what they needed. And I'm curious if doing something like adding some calcium and vitamin D3 into these animals' lives, especially if we're not giving them UVB, at least right now, if they're not getting UVB, that's a good supplement in some way, shape, or form, even in small amounts. So I'd be curious if that would help, with the calcification of eggs for females that are several years going back to back, things like that. I don't know.
That or just give them a break. Don't breed them 3 years in a row.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there's that, but I'm just saying in general, even for a female who's breeding for her first time,
I agree.
Would that make a difference in her having a better, successful first clutch?
Yeah, because I had my one tiger female lay a clutch, and I hate it when you get them and you're like, oh shit, I got 14 good looking eggs, right? And I think now I'm down to 4. It was because it's just that basic thing of you candle them and you're like yellow, fuck. And that's just that now.
And then there's the whole female bouncing back afterwards. There's the other end of it.
Some of my girls have never had that problem. This year, I am having a hellish time getting the female caramel jag that Riley you sent me.
What?
Do you remember the female caramel jag that you got at the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she is having a hellish time bouncing back from a clutch. And this is her second year in a row. Last year, she did fan-freaking-tastic. But the eggs that she laid, I was down to, she laid a clutch of 10 and only got 2 babies because all the other eggs went bad or just were infertile or whatever.
She's a big girl, too.
This year, she laid 14 eggs and they went the distance, all of them.
And I'm assuming you probably fed her a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just fed her like I normally do, but
she's a big animal. If I
she's a biggish. Listen.
Well, not like the big, but I remember her being long, and I just remember being like, man, she's going to need a lot of food to sustain her.
She would be the biggest animal in Eric's collection. Okay.
100%.
Okay. For me, she's kind of on the small side, but yeah. So she has been eating, but she's not really putting a lot of weight back on. I've been feeding her quail and rats and things like that. She's really not going. So I already have her slated. She's not going this year. She's done. I'm not. I can use my eyes.
Yeah.
And I know when a girl is because now we're getting into dudes, we're about to hit July.
Yeah.
If nobody's thinking about 2022 right now, you're fucking stupid. So I already know which animals are going. I already know which animals aren't going.
Yeah, I've definitely already got the next couple.
Red light breeders don't count because we're not done yet. So
okay.
So
yeah.
Speaking
a couple
of
times, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I turned around. The last two are pregnant as all hell. It's kind of scary.
Good. It should.
So you have a total of how many now?
It'll be three. It'll be
clutches?
three. Okay. It'll be three, but only one laid, and then the other two like had their sheds one day apart and are due this weekend.
Right.
You have a storm front coming through or anything like that?
No.
No, well, then you're screwed. All right, you got to wait. Yeah, I would say if the big thunderstorm's coming, they're both going to lay at the exact same time.
Within 10 hours of each other, decided to make their nests and move all the moss around, which is just so cool to me. I love that.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
I know I keep geeking out on that one thing, but
I've done females back to back, and I wouldn't do it again. And I've done it with IJs, and I've done it with coastals, and I've done it with morphs, just to see what it was. I've not really like laid food into the female so much, but I got to tell you, man, if they are not prepped going into that,
it could be dangerous.
Yeah. They look really bad coming out of it, like really bad.
Look like an empty tube of toothpaste with just.
They literally like. If
I didn't understand that the ribs would
they flex down. Yeah,
dude, it's like concave. It's like an empty back of ribs.
And the problem is that you see her going into breeding season and she's got a little weight on her. Then you see her when she's pregnant, and you're like, God damn, she's huge. And then you see her after she's spent all that energy, all that muscle, all that fat that she's stored up to make these eggs, all this other stuff. And then you're like, holy crap, I've killed her.
Pretty much.
And that's
I had freaked out. I totally freaked out.
Yeah.
Like Zach, Loafman and I agreed that I went full like concerned beardy mom mode.
Right. And then you know what? Here's the good thing is you give her 3 or 4 meals and then you start seeing her like she was before the eggs, and you're like, okay. And that's where you kind of gauge it, is if she's not almost back to where she was after a couple meals, like say like a month or 2 months, you're like, okay, maybe we want to not do that. And I've gotten into the point where I leapfrog my females. I have a couple of females that go this year, and then they don't go next year, and I have a couple of females that go next year, because then I still get a good production of carpet eggs, and I'm not breeding these back-to-back girls.
Yep.
And also, number one, I get more fertile eggs. I get bigger clutches. I get less stress on the girls, and they're living to whatever the hell else we got now downstairs. I think my oldest right now she was a 2007 is I think my oldest girl downstairs right now. So yeah,
I think I know the THP guys often talk about the cutting of rodents for babies.
Oh yeah.
But I wonder if it would help with females, and because obviously those babies supposedly grow a bit faster or whatever. So I wonder if that would help the females absorb those nutrients faster, even before or after, because I think maybe even after might be more beneficial, because maybe it's not as taxing on the system, and maybe they're able to get those nutrients faster. I don't know. Just a thought.
I think more people should explore different types of prey items, because I think you give more to our animals just by, feed. I have fed tilapia fillets to carpet pythons. They will eat them.
That's crazy.
It's like it's a chunk of tilapia like this big, but the amount of protein and stuff in that big chunk of tilapia has got to be more than a rat or something that size. It's just like it,
and all those fishy oils. And
exactly. You break it down, like who knows? I don't know. Yeah.
I wonder if there's ever been, I guess there hasn't, because I haven't read anything of documentation of carpet eating a fish.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Dude, I think carpets
anybody's caught one like sitting in the stream, like grab one.
I think with snakes being opportunistic feeders, that if a carpet python's hanging out by the river and say some fish is in too shallow water and it's flopping around, I have to think a carpet would be like, if I bite that, I bet you I could fit it in my mouth. And that's.
I would think they would try.
I think they would try.
Yeah.
Do you think
especially
that they would
considering half the ones in here would try to eat me? So
yeah. Do you think that they would eat carrion? If the
I don't think they would
dead
I know
fish.
I know blackheads have been seen. I know blackheads are like rivers dry. These things are easy now. Yeah. It's
they've been seen eating roadkills.
Yeah,
smushed goannas and stuff.
Blackheads are
I could see it to a degree.
Yeah.
If it smells rotting, I don't think a snake's gonna eat it. If it's actually rotting, like putrid, I don't think a snake will eat it.
I think that any snake is going to be drawn by movement, flashing, and if they're hungry, they're going to take a shot.
Sure.
I think we limit our animals by saying that they're only going to eat European white mice or white rats when they can easily ace birds, fish, lizards, frog. Dude, my snakes love frog legs. Love them.
100%. Well, you remember my frog adventure.
Yeah. If I could order bulk frog legs, a ton of frog legs, I would, because they are the perfect meal for all my colubrids, because you just cut them right down the pelvis into two little drumsticks. They eat the hell out of them. And the carpets will eat them. Yeah, I would rather do chicken drumsticks. You have to cut a little bit because it's a little bit big around the hip area, but if you cut it, it kind of folds down into just one tube of chicken meat. Right. But I would love to just do straight up frog legs. I think my snakes would love that. Plus you got to kind of think that they smell this and something goes off in the back of their head of this food, and they just nail it. And that's fine.
I have basically a snowball in my freezer of bullfrog legs, because I just froze them all together like an idiot. So now it's just one giant frog popsicle. Yeah. So I'll have to defrost the whole thing together, which means that I'll have to feed everybody frog legs.
Dude, I literally I would cut a little bit of the calf off for the false water cobras because they were tiny at that size. Mm-hmm. But then all the Asian rat snakes ate them. I got my cow kings to eat them. I got the pine snakes to eat them. I got my black rat snakes are weird. They like chicken more than they like rodent. If I put a rat in there, they will leave it there. They don't want to freaking touch it. But drumstick, chicken wing, they'll eat 2 or 3 of those in one sitting. So yeah, I don't care. Are you eating? Cool. Yeah. I can figure out the rest. I will get you what you want to eat. Cool. So I would love to I've looked up bulk frog legs, and they're like, why do you want these? I'm like, reasons. No, you tell me where to get them. No, I'm not a restaurant. Just tell me where they are. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to go to
What a strange question. Just make the damn sale.
Just make the damn sale. What do you want?
It's frog legs. There's nothing malicious.
I was thinking about going down to an Asian market in Philadelphia and seeing what they got, but I fear that I would go down there and be like, I would like frog legs. They're like, well, we have seahorses. No, please, I just want the frog legs. Oh, this hurts me being here. So yeah, I don't know. So
yeah. You have to be prepared to see things you don't want to see.
When you're going to go to the Asian market, you have to be prepared for things. Yes. Lots of things.
Oh, yes. Just like the old big Lee family Christmas party.
So I have a...
Lucas, what the fuck is going on with your screen?
Language, sir.
That's a wild breadlie eating a bird.
Is that a pigeon?
That's a gorgeous bread.
Oh no, is that a mallard?
I don't know. It's maybe.
It's a large bird. The neck's too long. I don't think it's a pigeon.
It's a duck. But look at that Brettles. Oh my goodness.
But dude, that was the fun part of Australia is we got out of the airport in Brisbane and I saw a bunch of birds flying around. I'm like, fucking pigeons. I'm like, oh no, those are lorikeets. They're pretty birds. And it was just no, they're fucking birds. It just changed a little bit. So yeah.
Duck. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the picture of the carpet that tried to eat the cane toad.
Well, and that's the other thing.
Was killed.
My retic I went to the store and I found out the Cornish hens are like $1 a piece, and my retic will eat the whole damn thing. So I'm like, screw it, why not? So
way cheaper than rats,
right? And then you think about like when I had monitors, chicken hearts were like you get it like for $1 you can get a big bin of chicken hearts, and that was like bite size for baby monitors.
Right.
So I would just keep doing that, and those were great things to do with that kind of stuff. So, but like certain places, like they have chicken feet and stuff like that. I just don't think there's enough nutritional value in like chicken feet to just do that for food. If I had monitors, you could like supplement with that stuff, but I don't think I would feed it directly to a snake. But there are other food options out there. So
I think we shared this picture, but it's still worth doing again, just because it's a carpet python eating eggs.
Right.
Like chicken eggs?
Right.
That's cool.
I have put chicken eggs. I put eggs in with multiple snakes. Cribos will eat quail eggs, but like they'll eat them like you think cribos are going to eat quail eggs. They'll just open their mouths and just shovel them in. And then when they shit, there's just eggs. Like there's like the quail egg is intact. Like it is nothing happened.
Right.
But like I put chicken eggs in there, and some cribo will eat chicken eggs, some won't. Same thing goes with like slug python eggs. Some snakes will eat them, some won't. Like my Chinese king rats will eat slug python eggs. Lucas, what is happening with your screen? Keeps flashing, and I see a Sasquatch. What is happening?
You do not.
What are you doing?
Are you saying you see Sasquatch?
Happening. No, there's some bullshit happening.
I think he said it, which means an audio clip can be created.
Bullshit happening here is what's happening.
I'm just trying to have a good educational conversation with my
Eric,
friends.
write the timestamp.
Lucas, you are now in turn 4.
Bob Rock needs that.
Dear Bob Rock.
My number is rising.
No, lower. It's lower. You have to try.
When I get
lower
to intern 100, can I exchange my intern points for an eraser?
Yes, you can have an eraser. Yes, that's all you can have. That's all there.
To erase my mistakes.
Thanks. Yep.
I wonder where the hell I did with that.
Huh?
Where did you put what?
The picture of that.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. Worst intern ever.
I mean nothing but love.
I think I need that tattooed.
Worst intern ever.
And think of all the good times.
There have been none.
I could
none
probably
of them.
fit that somewhere in here.
No good time. Really? Underneath here? Dude, are you insane?
Well, to be honest, every week when I get my arms shredded up by the lace monitors, I'm like, yeah, I'm in no rush to get my forearms tattooed.
I didn't like
that's pretty rough,
the ball joints right here on the shoulders. That was
dude, somehow the bastard got me on the leg too. Like I've got scratches all over my leg too. I'm just like, oh, well, that was quick, but yeah.
So monitors, they suck. Anyway.
I love them.
Monitors are pretty badass.
They're my guilty pleasure that I will never keep more of at home.
See,
how much do Kimberly rocks cost?
I know, right?
Like $12.50.
Yeah,
a baby.
Think how many blackheads you could buy with that. You could buy one blackhead. Yeah, half of blackhead. Half of a blackhead would be that. Yeah.
You could put a down payment on the blackhead.
On a black, you could reserve a black to look at a blackhead. Yeah.
So I guess I'll wait till I produce blackheads to get a Kimberly rock.
Maybe. Yeah.
Give me plenty of time to study up on them. Apparently, they're kind of sensitive as babies. Like it's very easy to get them and go south pretty quick.
All right, I am looking at my olive python babies, and I'm like, you guys are going to buy me some new rough scales.
Oh, that's cool. the females nesting together.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's another picture where they're side by side, but this is another picture. So like to me, that's like we have two separate pictures of that happening.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty interesting. And it's funny to me, like everybody worries about their eggs and stuff, and look at these eggs, man.
Oh, crappy. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Like, dude, that's why I don't worry about eggs. Like the zebra clutch, there were two foul, nasty, dead, slimy, discolored, funky ass eggs in there. Just left them.
if it's gonna hatch, it's gonna hatch. Like I part of me understood like all the Mad Hog eggs had pipped except for one. And my first instinct was to slice that egg and pull that baby out or do whatever. But I would much rather let him or her pip on their own and come out rather than force it and then have to deal with like a baby that maybe wasn't quite ready for this world or maybe was not supposed to come out of that egg or anything like that. So
my only caveat to that is draw a line in the sand where if you don't see any activity, then manually pip and check, because I did have a fully formed dead in the egg baby in my clutch that otherwise should have made it.
Well, they pipped yesterday, but like I understand.
Okay. Yeah.
Pipping is fine, but it's like I don't know if I really want to go after it. Like with carpets, I had several eggs go bad this year. I had several things happen where I'd much rather just let it ride. And if they're meant to come out, they're meant to come out. If they're not, then I don't have to. It's not something I need to force feed for a year and a half and then have it die anyway.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's selective breeding for stronger animals.
Nature is a bitch. So yeah.
Did you change your name to Nature?
No. Why?
Whoa! Whoa!
Yes, Lucas. So what, do you have something to add?
Well, he just insulted you. You're just gonna take that?
Listen, you're all the way down at like intern number 4, so he has to do even more for you to leapfrog him now. I mean, yeah.
I don't want to leapfrog Riley. I just want my place back.
We'll see. What if they're white lips? If they're white lips, I'm incubating them myself with my own body. Like I'm not. Yeah, I'm not letting those eggs. Not letting those eggs out of my sight. Oh yeah, no. If they're white lip eggs, they're with me 100%. So.
Oh man, yeah. White lip eggs.
I actually, we have white lips right near me.
What?
Right,
are those your babies?
Are those
babies?
No, babies?
The white lips?
These are some white lips.
Ah, finally.
There's some white lips.
It's not killing you. Is it broken?
No, she's actually really nice, which is weird.
Aw, lucky.
For like a black face, so.
That would be the only way I would ever get into white lips is if they were sweethearts. Otherwise, I'd just be like, screw it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, she's actually really nice, but the male's a dick. But yeah, these are the new white lips that are in quarantine. So
I'll live vicariously through you with them.
As you should.
Don't
take white lips from me again. So
clearly.
Well, actually, I got my other I have a reverse trio now, and the one male came from you anyway.
Oh.
Who won?
The toad is sitting there quite victorious.
Yeah.
Excreting his bufo
venom. Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, does this snake look thin? When you look at that head,
I mean, but look at the spine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little
looks all right to me.
I mean, maybe it had a rough winter, but
what I'm saying is like, you know, I've seen, I don't know. Seems like those coastal carpets in Brisbane are eating pretty good, you know?
Yep.
So, but this one, I don't know. Maybe times were tough. I don't know where exactly. I don't know where this was taken. Somewhere in Queensland for sure.
Yeah.
But
right now,
I think it might be opportunistic.
I think they'll hit anything that moves. But yeah, right now I have a reverse trio of golds and I have a reverse trio of blackface. So I need a female of each still because I need to get to my special 2.2.
Nice. Haha.
Yep.
Special.
That's the
wonderful.
number. I feel like if you got 2.2, it's a project.
Yeah.
You know, it's
2.2.
If a male fails on you, you gotta. No, that's rough scale numbers. All right, like come on now.
Oh, and I'm very proud of you, and I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Don't being a kiss ass is not going to help you. All right, like don't like we can see through this.
By the
really
way,
obvious.
Owen, Lisa's southern white lip looks to be cycling.
Lisa and I have been talking about that I'm sorry, Lisa. I got your last message, but I didn't respond because I was like, I'll talk to her in a second. And then I like totally forgot for 4 days, but it's been in the back of my mind. But she and I have talked about that kind of stuff, and that's awesome. And that would be freaking amazing if she.
I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to.
I don't want to jinx it either. That would be awesome.
Knock on some wood, but just saying, looking good. Photos.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
All signs point towards go.
I am exceedingly jealous, and I have these new so I have the Timor pythons in 2 6-foot cages that are next to each other. I'm gonna drill a hole and do a pass between, just like how Shane and them have done with scrubs. And then I'm actually going to put a UV bulb in one side. Nice. So they have access to the UV. And then I'm going to leave that opening except for feedings. And I'm just going to let them do their thing and mosey with each other. And then maybe they'll cycle and this other thing. And that was the plan also to do with the white lips, is to start giving them those different opportunities to be around each other when they want to be, when it's time. And also I'm probably just going to cohab the one pair of blackface together and see what that does, if that's even possible. If not, then I'm just going to do a cage by cage, like side by side again. So we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, listening to that episode with Ryan got me thinking about future end goal plans for lighting and stuff, UV and all that good stuff.
I think it's going to be one of those things that if I haven't gotten an animal to breed, then maybe it's time to bust UV in. Like it's another bullet in the gun that we can use for trying to figure out certain species and different animals.
Especially after hearing Ryan talk about UVA and what that does for like seasonal depression and activity levels. And then what really stuck out to me was the discussion about how it's like a visible color wavelength that we don't see, but like chameleons can see the neon in their casques because of this UV radiation, this wavelength that's coming through. And they're seeing that, and that absolutely affects their territorial nature, behavior, and breeding selection in mates. So why is it something that, at the very least, from a visual necessity, something that wouldn't benefit snakes? I mean, you know what? To me, the top species in my care that I feel like would really change right off the rip from having UVB naturally available would be the Crebos, the rainbows, and I think the carpets would change dramatically too. I think if I were to put perching with UV on perching, I would see a lot more animals perching under UV, because everybody else out here in this reptile hobby that is starting to give their animals UV is starting to show photos of like their animals going, hey, look, my snake is just perching or bassing under UV, but no heat. We're starting to see a lot more of that. So.
Now, would that be something you might want to limit for something like an albino?
It's worth experimenting with,
right? Till they all go blind. So there's
I mean, to me, I think I wouldn't want to have it on 12 hours a day anyway. For most species, I think I would probably do like a 4-hour window, middle of the day, or like first thing in the morning a burst, and then in the evening a burst. And then that would be it.
That's what I was thinking about doing with the Timors, is giving them access to one on a timer that would only be on for a couple hours, and it's only on one side because they're both in 6-foot cages. So this would be like a 12-foot cage that they would have access to, and it would only be on one side of one for maybe a couple hours, just to give them a dose of it to try to see if that maybe gets them. Plus, on top of like pissing the male off with the sheds of the other male and this, that, and the other thing. So
yeah, I would urge any Boelen's pythons keepers and folks aspiring to breed that species to really consider utilizing some UVB bulbs and UVA in there to really.
Well, Keith does that.
Yeah. I think diamond pythons. I think Boelen's. I think southern white lips. I think any of the really southern ranging
dark colored animals.
Yeah, I think those animals probably really live and die by that, as far as how their circadian rhythm is concerned, their day-to-day expenditure of energy towards seeking out that light or not. I think it's just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there and important.
I would say that my white lips, because I have them right now, my older goldface, I have them in the cages, and I put them in those cages specifically because the sunlight comes through the window. They will follow the sun as it moves across their cage.
Yeah.
And they absolutely glow in direct sunlight. So that is something that I'm definitely going to work into. It is some UV into the southern white lip cage because I have 8-foot cages being made for them.
Nice.
So they're going to get put together in some 8-footers. So they'll have a big range. And then I'm going to have a radiant heat panel and then a UV bulb probably on each cage.
I was just going to say, if it were me doing sort of like a somewhat cookie cutter approach to most of my snakes, albeit varying the size of the enclosure, what I would aim for is, whatever size enclosure. And then you have light sockets on either end for 2 UV bulbs. And then you have one end is also designated with a basting spot, whether it be RHP, ceramic, whatever you do. And then that heat element is controlled and set for however you need it throughout the day. And then you have one, UV light come on for a couple hours in the morning. And then maybe that shuts off. And then the other one comes on a couple hours later. And then that's your cycle.
Well, the way I'm going to do it is I'm having a special housing made. It's like almost looks like a triangle. And it's going to fit in the corner. It's going to have like a clear plastic thing in the spotlight so that the white lips can't like get in it, around it, or on it, but it still gets that kind of thing in there. So that's what we're going to do there. Or it's going to have a screen.
Because you can get those universal sockets that'll fit any sort of the normal bulbs that have like a little swivel pivot in them. You just screw it right in, pivot, and then
you block it off. And then this way they can't really get to it, but it still has that spotlight right on where they're going to hide. That, or I was thinking even for the Timors, I have a bunch of those cages that cover bulbs, and I didn't want the Timors to be super huge because I think they need a little bit more of a cool area. Plus, I don't want to fuck up the olives who are underneath them. And they seem to be working. I keep getting baby olive eggs. And I don't want to fuck with the stack and then get Timors and no olives. The ideal is to get both. So, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I think UVB and UVA both are definitely going to become the next variables worthy of experimenting with a lot of these very difficult to breed species.
And who knows, that might be the key. And then it's like, holy shit. We've just been
or at least we might just see animals that behave more naturally and live longer and seem to be healthier, even if it doesn't necessarily have a direct or significant impact in their reproductive fecundity or whatever it is. Just like they now live beyond 10 years, or like, maybe somebody will find out, the species only lives 8 years, now lives 20 because of it, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would probably just do it for like, I would say, because the way I have my heat panels, they ramp up to the highest point at like noon, and then they kind of drop off after about an hour. So I would say that it would ramp up to noon, and then the UV bulb would turn on for maybe an hour at that highest point to kind of simulate that the sun is at its highest peak, and then it would teeter off, and then eventually that the bulb would just turn off. So
and it would vary for every species. An equatorial species, a species that is always under a deep dense forest canopy versus a species that's out in the day and open plains, actively hunting for food. I mean, they're all going to experience different amounts of UV, different levels, different exposure times, and that needs to be taken into account. And I think Ryan's company VivTech breaking the mold of only desert and tropical and having like a couple different more intermittent steps and levels and approaches and understanding to it is what needs to be. It needs to be. We need to split more hairs in order to be more accurate, and precise.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I think it's exciting to see what's going to happen. So.
It's the golden age of reptiles and herpetoculture.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe that's the secret to getting blackheads eating and starting on their own. UVA.
Could be.
I don't know. Spitballing potentially terrible, potentially revolutionary ideas out there. That's only crazy until it's, been proven.
I do know that my falsie loves UVB and looks like a different animal under it.
I have been handed a small cupcake. Yeah, I've been handed a small cupcake from my fiance. Thank you.
Is it your birthday?
No, it's not my birthday. I just don't know. I said something about how I was just going to get high and eat cake, and now I have cake. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, very small cupcake.
Yahweh.
This is what Eric feels like when he handles normal cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about right.
Yeah. Anyway,
gentlemen,
hello.
We've hit our 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah. Anybody want to close it out with any cool stuff they've got going on this week or anything to look forward to?
I'm going to be on vacation.
Go around. Yeah.
Mr. Stone is coming out to visit.
Go herping. We're gonna go look for shit.
Nice.
And we're gonna have a couple days where we head out. I think the Pine Barrens is on the list.
I can't freaking wait.
Poconos. Oh, and do you want me to take you to the Copperhead spot?
Yes, for the love of God. I've never seen a copperhead in the wild. Please.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I keep not being with you when you find them. You found them in Pennsylvania. Then you went to Texas and found them. It's pissing me off.
I am going to leave one more little nugget, and I'm not going to say it, but the last and final podcast to join the NPR network.
I feel like I've heard that sentence a few times.
There's far too many at this point. Oh,
Colubroid.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Man. Oh man.
Broid.
So that should be cool.
That is cool.
I can't physically do anymore. So if you want to add more podcasts to the network, somebody else has to edit.
Help edit, man.
Yes,
yeah.
Do it, man. We have interns. Use the interns.
Well, I did get contacted by Ryan Dumas today, and he was asking about a turtle podcast, and I told him I was like, dude, it's a great idea, but I just physically can't edit any more podcasts. So if one of my other 3 compadres was wanting to do it, I have no problem with that.
I would be happy to learn.
I can do it. I'll edit Zach's.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Good news, Ryan. You get your turtle podcast soon. He's a good person for it.
Yeah. So we're working with Dr. Loafman and Matt Most to do a colubrid. How do you say the other one?
Colubroid.
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 I don't know. Colubroid.
Colubroid. Yeah.
That depends on which side of colubrid you fall on.
Yeah.
Yes. So just the fact that the two of them are going to be talking about,
which is awesome.
And the thing of it is they're doing a true NPR style, which is different than what the guys over to my right do.
We just got outclassed by like a shit ton. All right, like this is
but you guys are doing something different. You guys are doing like a species profile type of thing, where they're doing more of an interview of talking to various colubrid and colubroid breeders type.
Badass. So, hey, that'll probably be good for getting us some inspiration for some new stuff.
Yeah,
to talk about.
Yeah,
man.
And putting us on the track of some good info, because I don't know what it is. I keep either finding species that are not heard of, or there's like no information in.
But
like
that's
5
the reason
websites.
we're doing this, because there's several that I guarantee you that some people would just walk right past at a snake show because it's not a freaking blood, whatever the hell.
It's now super dangerous because, like, to me, I'm like, most of these colubrids I could keep ambient where I'm at here, and I'm just like, I'll just throw it in a sterilite tub in the living room. And as I'm going around shows, I'm like, this is dangerous.
Good.
Yeah.
No, not good. I already came home with geckos from Egypt I didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
That was not even because of the show. The show is, come on. This is
terrible. Like Colubros.
Colubros.
There you go.
That should have been the show.
Well, listen, man, they're up to change it. You have some influence on him. Have some influence on him.
Rebrand it. So,
I mean, it's funny.
Listen, boss.
Listen,
fellas.
We had a meeting.
Wow.
What about you, Lucas? Group. What you got going on?
2 more clutches of Brussels pythons due in the next couple days.
Nice.
So that'll probably happen by Monday or Tuesday.
That's soon, huh? It's been that long since they're.
If they lay on the same number of days it took the first one to lay, that's what I'm basing it off of.
Nice.
So, plus or minus, but that'll be good. And then, no, I think that's pretty much it. Over here, I am looking forward to receiving some snakes from you fellas, but I don't have anywhere for them yet, but I'm working on it.
I'm just waiting. Trust me. Every time I feed them, I'm like, God damn it. You should be at freaking Lucas's by now. So yeah.
I could probably do a jerry rig thing. I'll call you.
No, just wait. It's fine. All right.
Yeah, it's like too hot to ship now. Well, it might be a week now.
It's starting to cool down a little bit here, but it was 100 degrees out here the other day, and it's 93 today. It's crazy all over the place right now.
When I'm shipping animals to people I know, it's usually the cool. So here's the FedEx hub where they will be.
Right.
Thank you. Right. Goodbye now.
That's the nice thing when it's at the hub. The beautiful thing is, the snakes go at night when it's cool. They stay in the hub where it's air conditioned, climate controlled.
Done.
Problem solved.
Yep.
Right.
So Riley, what about you? What do you have going on?
But we skipped you.
Oh, you want to go do me first? All right, fine.
We're going in order. We're just going down the loop.
All right. Olive pythons are due any day. So baby olives are going to hatch. I get to go herping with Rob, Eric, Keith, all the other dudes in Philly. So it's like a meeting of the Owen Pelly bros is going to be happening. My father has heard that Rob Stone is in town and is now hell-bent on at least meeting up for a beer. So it's
isn't it funny how both of our fathers are
hell-bent on Rob Stone? I don't understand it.
Bob Rock and Rob Stone. Yeah.
My dad's
kind of strange.
You guys are having like some carpet fest that's like off the books. I'll come. I'm like, Dad, it's like, he's like, I'll show up. I'll even pay. Holy shit. All right. Well, yeah, I'll let you know. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, that's my week.
My dad lights up like a Christmas tree. He's like,
something about Rob Stone. Yeah.
Is that Rob Stone going to be there? And I was like, yeah, he will. He's like, he goes, I like that guy.
I like that Rob Stone, that Bobby Pebbles. Yeah.
It's the name, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Bobby Pebbles. I like that.
You haven't been the end of one of his illustrious rants of crazy.
Yep. Well, the Bob Rock and the Bobby Pebbles was the aliases he kept using because he kept trying to call my office to talk to my dad, and didn't want the assistant to be like, a Rob Stone is on the line, so they're like, a Bob Rock is on the line. I'm like, well, I know who the fuck that is. Like, I don't. How many people could there possibly be? Like, So
I thought it was somebody, the guy that produced the Metallica albums. I
know, right?
I thought of right away.
That's immediately you went there.
So
that's awesome.
But
cool.
Riley.
Yes.
It's your turn now.
I have angry thermostats with noisy relays that are pissing me off. 3 of them to be exact. I'm gonna smash them all with a hammer.
If they're expensive, don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I just have rage issues. My Crebo eggs are on day 93.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's weird sentence.
93?
For sure. And they're gonna go at least another 17 to 27 days.
4, 5 of them good.
4 look perfect. 9 have just turned brown and like deflated a bit. But like the crazy thing is they don't smell. They're not slimy. They're still heavy and dense. I don't know if it was stained from the moisture because at the start of the incubation, I did damp cocoa blocks under polyfill and then just overdid it. And so I don't know if that's from staining from the cocoa blocks, or if it's like a particular bacteria that just got the surface of the eggs brown, or if the embryos all died inside, and just because of the nature of those eggs, it just doesn't look as dead as some of the other eggs that I've seen. So I have no hope for them. If anything hatches out of that, that'll be a freaking miracle. So I'm looking forward to 4 baby Crebos.
Nice.
Better than no baby Crebos like this guy.
Yeah.
Wait, how many baby Crebos do you have?
Well,
I have none. Thank you.
No.
I'll be looking at 4. I'll be looking at 4 if 4 eggs hatch.
4?
Yeah. 4
and that was from that
eggs.
female that got
the
really
male
beat up, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to breed him again this year. Right now, I'm getting a bunch of food back into her. She's eating a ton. They breed in December, so I have to sort of
I got
earlier.
Pedal the metal. I'm trying to put more weight on my boy. Yeah,
I want to get my dad a Crebo. I think
they're
he would
badass.
Like
he would be.
It's like a Cobra without being a Cobra.
Yeah.
I want to get me a Crebo.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll live through my dad. Be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, they're badass snakes, dude. Like, something about them. They. I mean, the same way the falsies are intriguing and active and amazing is kind of just, put it in this camp and it's the same story more or less.
It's fun to take the Crebo. It's like Crebo and then Mad Hog and then Falsey. Like you can see the progression. Like the next step after Falsey is like just straight up Forest Cobra. So it's like you can kind of see the line, and it's
Crebos are badass. So this 4 clutches, or this 4 egg clutch, it might just make it that much more special for me, just much more enjoyable. Man. And then
do it.
Yeah.
In the next season, the female will have had another year to grow, mature, and heck, maybe next season I'll get 20 eggs or something. And
yeah.
It's always the future,
Yeah.
So
we'll give you 2 Brettles. 3 final.
I raise your Brettles to 1 Apodora.
Done, dude. Yeah.
Done.
Cool, man.
Gosh,
That's
dang
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if there's 4, there's 2 of you.
Good point.
Just saying, the math is still solid.
So
I don't have to, do anything with that. I could keep them. I could sell them. I could trade them. I could do whatever.
You can. How do we end this thing? Like, because I've never been here for an
We
end.
say goodbye.
Owen doesn't like us anymore, and he wants to.
He doesn't. He wants to. I have a cupcake. Like it is
another.
No, it's the same one. It's just here.
Oh well, it's little. I thought you'd have just
it's so
inhaled
weird.
it.
I was eating frozen mango the whole show.
You mute me, Owen.
I didn't mute you at all. I don't have these powers.
Well, Owen, this is how we end it.
Bluetooth connection is shitty.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's delayed.
Oh no. We have an audio delay. That was the technology.
The ghost of Robo Rick.
Yeah.
That's the technology trying to kick us out.
Mm.
But so anybody who's here, thank you for hanging out with us. If you are here, you probably know the NPR network and all of its shows under the Morelia Python Radio umbrella. And you know where to find all of that on all your major podcast platforms. For me, you can find all my stuff on Riley's Reptile social media, or just Riley Jimison on YouTube. If you're watching this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the NPR Network YouTube channel. Let's keep growing that. And that's all I have for you guys. If you guys want to throw your stuff out there, we'll close it out.
If you would like to find me, I am Lucas. Everybody is shaking their heads. Why? What? Am I off my game today? You guys can tell me. I can take it.
No, just keep going.
No, we're just giving you a hard time.
Pretty sharp today.
Yeah,
Lucas.
I love Eric. Okay, you can find me.
I can't hear anything you're saying because my headphones went out, but I'm going to go with pretty sharp.
I'm assuming it was good.
You can find
Very good.
me.
He's probably like, he's an asshole.
Centralianexotics.com. Centralian Exotics on all of your social media platforms. And I'll see you next time. Bada boom.
No.
There you go.
No, that's a terrible sign off. Eric, did you want to go or do you want me to go now?
I have nothing to go. I don't sell snakes.
All right, now
I have nothing left to go for.
Leave
all
me
I
be,
do is
people.
just edit podcasts and
go to
that's
work
it, so.
and then sleep.
Yes.
For me, it's it's rogue-reptiles.com, Rogue Reptiles on Facebook, and rogue_reptiles on Instagram. Definitely go and subscribe to the Patreon, become a member of the inland level so that you can come join us for more stuff like this on our monthly it's a good job. Yeah, thank you, sir. Come join us for the monthly shows that we do with just the four of us. This normally don't happen. Yeah.
If you thought
Hollywood
this
Square
banter
number
was
4.
lively.
Oh man.
Yeah, we need to do that because we missed.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Shit.
we'll have to work that out.
Yeah, go join that.
Oh, I got an idea. Maybe we'll do it when Rob's here, so we have.
There you go.
Rob
we'll do it
as
at
a
your
special
do it in
guest.
your
Good
back.
idea.
Yeah, do it in your backyard.
So this Sunday then?
Yeah, we could do it then.
Or is that next
Oh, wait,
Sunday?
this Sunday's the 4th of
Next
July.
Sunday. No, next Sunday. This Sunday, I'm trying to corral
Who's doing
Jim at a
husband
baseball
things?
game.
Oh, yeah,
Not doing husband things. No, husband things
Husband
happen.
things.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Very good. That's how we're signing off.
I have to build a wall to keep a tortoise in. Yeah, so that's later.
Yes.
So.
All right. Well, then we will communicate with everybody soon about the patron private Q&A coming up soon.
All right.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.